Good day. Let's see. Nice day today, +4. A little bit breezy, but no gloves, no hat right now. We'll see how long that lasts. I'm currently in Mill Creek South in Edmonton, and hopefully the trails are okay. We had a bit of rain, so it kind of slicks up the snow a bit. Got my walking stick though. Took a couple days off from walking, mainly out of exhaustion and laziness. It was busy at work, so it just kind of, and being the first week back after 2 and a bit weeks off, just kind of got to me. Never been down here before, so again, I'm just kind of winging it along here. I looked at the trail system on Google Maps, and it looks fairly extensive down here. Again, probably better to see these places in the summer, but we'll get back to them. These parts of the trails aren't maintained, so I don't think they really look after these paths in the winter. I'm just kind of following the packed down area where everyone else had been. Cloudy again, big surprise. Mind you, that usually happens when the weather warms up. Didn't realize I'd need to bring an umbrella, but the rain is spitting a bit on me. It's not unusual to get rain in January when it warms up. What do these signs say? Well, somebody didn't care for that left sign. I was hoping it was going to be a map. That dog is funny. When I'm this far away from him or her, it barks like crazy. When I was walking by close, he just kind of stared at me. Who's the brave one now, buddy? I'm following the power lines now. Let's kind of head down into the ravine here and see where that takes me. I'm kind of sticking to the snowy parts so I don't slip. I assume this is going over Mill Creek. It's a little frosty. You can hear the water running, so I assume this also gets runoff in here. I was heading north across that bridge, and now I'm heading west again, which I think is where the majority of the trail goes. Ended up at the end of the trail. Now let's go down this way. People are taking it. It's not what you call groomed or anything. I think a lot of these trails are just trails, you know, they're not pathways. Birds around here seem happy for the warm weather. Aren't we all? I see a lot of people go free range with their dogs out here and let them crap everywhere. It is gross. You can smell the moisture in the air. It's nice. Got my hair cut today. The little hairs down my neck are driving me crazy though. Not sure if I liked how the guy did it. I've had him twice at the neighborhood barber, maybe 3 times even, and I might have to ask for somebody else, but he's always the guy that's there when I go in there on a Friday morning. At least I should be grateful that the hair's still on the top of my head and not growing up my back. Gross. Except for that little patch above my bum. I know. TMI. Hope I don't get into one of these situations where I get turned around and start walking too far away from my car. But after taking 2 days off, I guess I need to amp up the steps today. I felt guilty about not walking. And I guess that's a good thing, right? It means that my mind is telling me I should be doing it regardless. Back on a groomed path leading up to a busy road here, which is probably 34th Street. I think I just got to walk through this residential area for a bit to link up with the ravine again. I think these houses to my left back onto it. I probably took a wrong turn somewhere to find the actual start of the path on this side of the 34th Street. So many people don't look after their sidewalks. Come on, people, you buy a house, there's a commitment there. Okay, coming up to a path to the ravine. I just want to make sure it doesn't just take me back the way I came. Yeah, I think it does. I'm sure if I follow this sidewalk, I'll get to it. Really, no shit, man. I've seen more coyotes lately than I have in the last 15 years, I'm sure. Maybe I'm like the coyote whisperer and they sense me around. I assume a woodpecker did this. A little hidey hole up there. Pretty quiet along here on a Friday afternoon. Not sure if I said that already. It's fairly picturesque here, but not sure if I'm hitting the actual ravine trails because I'm basically paralleling houses. Maybe that's a new word. Paralleling. To parallel a path next to houses. Parallelhousing. Okay, that's why I'm seeing people with their dogs around here without leashes on. That's okay. I don't mind that, as long as they can keep them under control. Not sure if I'd like my house parallel with the trails. Kind of impedes my desire to sit out on my deck naked, like I like to do fairly often. Not. Okay, going right down into the ravine now. More bridges crossing over the creek. Just being careful going down these hills. This would be like day 6 without falling so far. Let's carry on towards the west, if the trail will take me there. You can hear it flowing pretty good under the ice. Might just be heading up the hill towards another residential neighborhood. Might have to check Google and see where I am. It looks like a community hall or school or something. Whew, walked up just a little bit of a hill and I'm huffing and puffing. See, take 2 days off and you lose your stamina. Let's see what shape these stairs are in before I tackle them. Well, they're somewhat okay. I'll just be careful going down. Already slipped. Oh, they're pretty icy. I do not have the balance to not go tumbling down the stairs. Bypass that part and see if we can find another way down into the ravine. Never spend too much time in this part of the city, in Mill Woods. Don't really know anybody who lives here that we visit. It's like a whole different world to me. See where this takes us. Most of this in this area is an off-leash park or off-leash area. Oh, hey look, a trail map. Okay, good to know. This looks like it might be a little bit more gentle downhill. If I have to, I'll take to the untrodden on snow. This part of Mill Creek Ravine seems pretty safe. When you go to Mill Creek Ravine, this is Mill Creek Ravine South. If you go to the other part, that which I think starts at the end of 91st Street, at the north end of it, on this side of the river, it can get pretty sketchy down there. There's safe parts too, but just got to be cautious all the time. Lots of bridges. I think there's, I'm not sure if it's several creeks feeding into Mill Creek or what, but lots of places where they had to put in bridges. I burnt a lot of fuel trying to find more interesting places to walk than just around my neighborhood. Might have to curtail that now because my wife's going out on strike on Monday, if the school board allows it, or the government. She only gets, I think it's less than half her salary in strike pay. So that kind of eats into the old family budget. And then of course I start paying CPP and EI again. And for me, CPP too. Fucking government. So the first part of the year was always a financial balancing act. Now with them going on strike for more money, really doesn't benefit us too much. It will on a take-home pay perspective, but because we're, like middle-income people, we always seem to get dinged with the tax burden of any government program or funding government workers. Now I know there's single people getting into being teachers' aides and support staff that are practically starving because it's an entry-level job. And these are the people that are distributing meds to your kids and toileting special needs kids and stuff. yet they're the lowest paid in the whole organization. Let's look at COVID. When the shutdowns began, who all of a sudden became essential workers? People that worked in liquor stores, people that worked in grocery stores, people that, you know, did cleaning and stuff in buildings. So all of your low-wage people were the ones classified as essential staff. So what happened to that criteria? The biggest problem, I think, is on the administration side. Sure, you want to stick it to the, you know, feet on the ground workers, but the administration is taking too much money. And I think that's my argument with healthcare too, is they spend way too much money on administration and no money seems to reach the, you know, the people who you require in an emergency, like your doctor, your a nurse, the emergency people. We kind of live in a fucked up society that way. Trust me, I'm not a big fan of unions. I think they had their place and kind of lost their appeal. Where was I? I came up on some people and I didn't want to be talking my bullshit. But in a place like Alberta, where they're constantly trying to bust unions, I guess maybe a strike is what some of these organizations need to prove a point. I worry that they're going to find out they're not as essential as they thought they were if schools go to online learning, or some of the lower paid clerks and stuff have to go into work just to survive. So they're willing to cross a picket line. Guess we'll have to see. Guess the advantage is, even though my wife will be getting less than half her paycheck in strike pay, she gets half a day off every day. We'll see how hard it is to get her to go back to work. No way. I'm the first one to retire, not you. There is lots of trail around here. No shortage of it. I could probably be here 10 times and take a different route. That's 50th Street up above me. Might be getting close to the point where I got to start working my way back to the car. Is that an English thing? Or a Canadian thing? Where you say car? Gotta get back to my car. I think it's parked in tar. And that's really far. Okay, so I've passed the same guy 3 times. So apparently we're both walking in circles. And I gotta pee. My watch says I'm 4.5 kilometers away from my car, so by the time I get back to it, it should be 8 hours. I hope not. It should be 8 kilometers. And at my pace, what, at 3 kilometers an hour? It's gonna end up being a 2-hour walk? No way. Maybe. Feels weird not looking at myself with a hat on. I do like the long walks, but it does take a lot of time. And then I end up with verbal diarrhea, and it takes me longer to edit the videos too. But I want to thank the 10 of you that are faithfully watching these. Hope you're getting something out of them. I know I've mindlessly watched people do things like wash a car or something. It's like, what are you doing? But, you know, sometimes it's just nice to not to have to engage your brain. Oop, I need to go this way. And listen to the ramblings of Mundane Man. These stairs look okay, but I'm just gonna take her cool. If it gets cold tonight, these will just be pure ice. And these bottom steps are treacherous. I went that way and made a loop around. Now I'm heading back this way. The snow is just soft enough that it's got some traction to it. Probably good that the sun isn't beating down on it, because that would have just hardened it right up. Came out of the ravine a little early. I was trying to avoid those slippery stairs and thought I was coming up to them. That's okay. We'll just stick up top here for a bit. Oh, came up a hill. There was a guy in front of me that way more confident in his footwear than I am. I guess he hasn't fallen as often as me. I think I'm a little overdressed for 5 degrees. 2 layers in my t-shirt. And I am sweating. Streak for a bit, see if it's a little less cumbersome. Well, it feels kind of slippery. This was another reason I kind of looked for somewhere else to walk, because people's sidewalks, get runoff from underneath the piles of snow and just builds up on ice, and Tommy don't like that. I came up way early. The school, the community hall that I came out and was afraid to use the stairs is way over there. I think I'll be getting back into the ravine somewhere over here. I passed the same guy a 4th time. He made a short loop. I'm making a long one. I got sweat actually rolling off my head. Don't know what it's going to be like in the summertime. Mind you, all I have to do is think about putting out any effort and I sweat. My daughter's so lucky she picked that up from me. Hill again. No falling. Made it. I need to get new shoes that I feel more confident in. Every little downhill I'm baby stepping it and trying to stick in the deeper snow. Yet there's other people just merrily walking along with my balance. I need every advantage I can get. A little walking stick only does so much. And I can't use 2 if I'm holding my camera up. I don't think I came down those stairs, did I? I've tried to avoid stairs so far. I'm going to say I did not. You guys remember me passing those stairs? Come on, help me out. Well, because you guys didn't shout out at me, I figured it out myself. That's the way I came down, though. But I think I'm going to follow the ravine back this way. As long as I'm heading in the right direction, which I am. Really nice pine or spruce smell through here. What do we got going on here? I don't know if that's a tribute to somebody or what. Interesting. Yeah, I think I'm gonna hit the more used trail. I think it's going to take me out of the ravine anyways. Stand corrected. I was up there. Now there seems to be a bigger trail this way. It keeps me in the ravine instead of in the residential. Yeah, whatever, squirrel. I'm here, you're here, deal with it. But like, why would somebody do that? Let's just tear up some paper and throw it in the ravine. Now, I could be a bigger person and pick it up and throw it out somewhere. It is paper, so it will biodegrade, but like, why even do that to begin with? People like that just ruin things. Might have to start bringing a backpack with me with snacks and water. I'll definitely have to do it when it gets warmer. When it's cold out like this, you don't really think about being thirsty, but I'm telling you, the amount of sweat I put out, I'm definitely going to have to charge up when I get home. I never use electrolytes or anything, just basically water. I might have to start that though, just to make sure I don't get some kind of cramping or whatever from being dehydrated. Both my knees are a little sore today. See, you take some time off and things just start to atrophy right off the bat. Mind you, I did do a lot of walking at work, but it's not hoofing it type walking. Okay, coming out of the ravine at 34th Street again. Looks like they're fixing a drainage problem here. Have to find a good place to cross over. It'd be nice if they put a pedestrian walkway underneath. Be careful here, it is slippery. Whether I headed north or south was 6 of one, half dozen the other, so. And I gotta get back into the ravine over there. Had a podcast playing in the background on my phone. I don't know where that came from. I hope it wasn't playing for the whole video. I don't know what it is with YouTube music, but sometimes it just arbitrarily starts playing something. And I do not like that. It'll be on my tablet too, and like sitting on the seat beside me, I'm like, where's that music coming from? And sure enough, it had decided that I needed to hear what it was playing. My watch says I've done 7.44 kilometers. So I think it's going to be a solid 9-kilometer day today. Maybe even 10 by the time I get back there. I think I still got a ways to go yet. There are trails that take you back down into the ravine there. I think because I'm on the downhill, number one, I don't want to go downhill because it's too slippery. And number two, I'm on the backside of my walk, so time to just keep trucking for the car, if that makes sense. Let's see if Google goes nuts and rips me off because I'm taking the exact same path I came on. You're not going to get away without a shot of the sun peeking through the clouds and through a tree and the big old power lines. That's my signature move. Well, I sure hope we get some more snow. This warm weather does nothing for keeping the ground moist. I think it just ends up running off. It's been so dry and hot for the last few years. It's almost like the 1930s. But we all know the tides shift eventually, and then we'll be worried about flooding. From one disaster to another. It's like California. Last year they were having record rainfalls and atmospheric storms, or whatever they call it, rivers, atmospheric rivers. And this year, everything's on fire. Just devastating. Flashbacks to Fort McMurray or Slave Lake, just the way fire rips through a neighborhood. And even more heartbreaking is rich actors and actresses have been burned out of their homes. Tragic. I guess I shouldn't be that crass. Losing your home is not a good thing, no matter what financial situation you're in. Might have bitten off more than I can chew with this walk. I've always had it in my head, though, that if something happened or I just couldn't make it, especially in an urban area like this, I could just call an Uber and get them to take me to my car. I think that would make me a big ass loser, so if I'm ever doing that, that means something very wrong has happened. Oh, just about back to my car already, he said sarcastically. Not quite sure what time it is, but I sure hope I'm getting home or leaving here before rush hour. Well, a lot more to be seen on these trails. And there's the whole regular Mill Creek Ravine too. Lots of places to walk in the city that are somewhat forested and less urban. Okay, I'm just about to the car. I'm gonna check my gadgets and see how we did. I don't see my car yet. I hope it's still there. I wasn't in a no parking zone, so I'm sure it's just blocked by another vehicle. Yeah, I can see it there behind that blue car. Oof, slippery spot, and I found it. Jesus. Okay, Runkeeper said I did just over 10 kilometers, 10.09. Google said 9.4, and my watch said 9.17. So again, Runkeeper for the win. I'm going to use that as my baseline and assume that the other two applications are screwing me over. So that was a good walk. Over 2 hours, a little bit more than I had intended, but once you get going, sometimes it's hard to stop. So, until the next one.